Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Transwest Truck Trailer RV. My name is Denise. I am a part of the horse and livestock trailer sales here located in Frederick, Colorado. So we're just off of I-25 on Frontage Road, about 30 minutes-ish north of Denver. And today, I bring you guys this fully loaded Logan coach trailer. So this is going to be a Riot model for the Logans. So it's a little bit of a step above the Bullseye model. So this is like their top tier. It's got cool little features on here. I mean, you have a separate dressing room. You got what we call our Tack up here. So it's a little bit different of a setup. And then we are working off of slants in the back. It's a 4-horse. So, you know, we have just our standards in the back over there. This trailer here is just shy of 24 feet on the floor. So it is, for everything it has, it's not that long of a trailer in my opinion. And we're also looking at about 7 feet tall, 7'3" wide. So you get a little bit more of an upgrade than just that standard width. On normal Logans, it's about 6'9". So this guy has been upgraded to that 7'3". So let's go ahead and get started up here in our front area. So this is our Tack that I mentioned. So we got a little bit more of an upgrade. This is, you know, you got double of everything. So you have your 2 doors that you would open on here, and they both have the same amount of things. So on the very top, we're seeing our bridle hooks. We do have our swing out blanket bars. So these guys will swing out and just standard as on everything Logan. You do have your clip, and then you guys can just get those guys on there, and then this one is not going to be roaming around inside of that trailer itself. And you also down here have your brush box. You know, your carpet in here is fully removable if you guys wanted to remove this, or you could just leave it as it is. And then this guy fully carpeted all throughout this whole entire back part of your door itself on here. Now, as we will see, anything that has those bridle hooks, you'll have carpet behind. So we have another set of bridle hooks sitting on the top of our trailer here. And then those guys do have that full carpet all throughout. I mean, it goes from end to end of this whole entire tack in here. And then we do have those lights. So you guys are seeing those LED lights on there. So you guys do have some clearance into here if you happen to be, you know, using it very late at night. But you also have your 2 8-inch awning lights as well. So then those guys give you an extra coverage when it comes to this end of your trailer. Now, I mentioned it's a 4-horse, but we do see 8 saddle racks, or 8, you know, racks in here. These guys are fully adjustable. So if you guys wanted to take some out, you know, you definitely could. If you wanted to have just one laying on itself and then this one have 3, you can fully remove these and adjust these guys to whichever way you guys are wanting to do that. So right now it's positioned to have 2 on each post. So you guys have access to, you know, if you want to put one a little bit closer to the top so you can give the bottom one a little bit more space, you are more than capable of doing that within these guys itself. Once you get in there, you do see your knobs that are located on those guys onto the actual post itself. So from that post, you turn your knob and then you fully adjust it to whichever way. If you're wanting to pull it down, if you're wanting to pull it up, whichever way you're wanting to go with that guy on there. Now, we do see the Vortex lining. So Logan is very well known for their Vortex lining. It's a galvanized steel frame trailer, and then they'll add the Vortex line. So that would be all the black that we see all throughout the back end of the saddle racks there. So this guy has, you know, extra protection for your trailer itself. And then we are seeing our carpeted flooring into this tack room. So you have carpet all throughout the bottom. You do have carpet, as I mentioned, both ends of your doors and then that top end. So this guy does not have any rubber mats sitting on the bottom. Now this door, same exact thing as the other one we saw. Fully back carpet on here. Your fully swing blanket bars on this guy, same deal. You can hook them and then your bars will stay intact on there. And then we're also seeing our bridle hooks that are sitting at the very top with, of course, that bus window. So if you guys need to bring some airflow into this tack itself, you open both of your bus windows that are located on both of your doors, and then you guys get a little bit more airflow throughout the tack indoors on there. And then just again, your brush box located right here, carpet fully removable if needed. This guy, to get into your tack, you would use your running board, and then you'd be able to get on here, be able to, you know, reach your bridles, all that kind of stuff. So you're have access, like a little step for you guys to be able to climb in and out of there if needed. Now we'll turn to this, you know, back end of our passenger side trailer. We'll start at the very top. So this guy, we are seeing, you know, our 8-inch type awning light on here. So you have your hooks. If you're working off of this end of your trailer, you can always assure that that light, once you have it on, you'll have a lot more visibility from this end. Now for our hip end side, we do have bus windows for every single one. So you got those 4 bus windows. When needed, of course, we open those guys a little bit more airflow into the stall area, so you guys can, you know, give your horses a little bit more in that end. And then we do have 4 tie hooks located just off of this guy on here. So if you're working off of this end of your trailer, you can, you know, tie your horses very much so on this guy. Now on our axles and our tires, we do have 2 6,000-pound tandem axles on here, and then we are looking at our 16-inch 8-lug aluminum black wheels. So you guys do have a little bit of an upgrade on that rim itself there. So it's not just your standard aluminum that is, you know, that silvery color. You do have that black, so you guys have, gives it a little bit more of a look to your trailer. In my opinion, I really like how the black makes the colors pop out on these trailers. It looks very, very nice. And we'll work off of the back end over here of our trailer. This trailer has upgraded flooring. So on this guy, we tend to see these more in the stock trailers, but this is what Logan calls their sure grip flooring over that wisp proof. And then this guy, the floor is built with drains. So of course you don't have to put any shavings, you don't have to put anything like that on here itself. It already has those drain holes. Everything will just drain off of the bottom of it. And then if you guys, you know, needed anything like that, power wash it, those kind of things, it makes for a lot easier of a cleanup because you don't have to worry about putting your mats back into your trailer, which I think is very, 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 very nice. And then again, we'll see over here, we do have that, you know, sticker that Logan puts on their trailers whenever it has that upgraded flooring onto them, so that it tells you guys all, you know, the self drainage, that these guys are pretty much permanent. There's no way you can take these out of there. So you got, you know, a little bit of an upgrade as far as your flooring goes. And I mentioned to you guys, this trailer is a galvanized steel frame trailer. So we do see the steel from the top part up there, and then we will see that Vortex lining on the bottom. So it's just a coverage for the bottom, so it's basically keeps it rust free. You know, you get a little bit more peace of mind that your trailer will last you a little bit longer than most trailers tend to do so. Now, going into our stalls here, we do see this butt strap. So we do have a butt strap on this guy. If you guys have a horse that will be sitting in this last stall here and they tend to back out, the butt strap is going to hold them so they can make sure that your horse is not going to be backing out into you, because that is the last thing that we want whenever we're trying to get our horses out of our trailers and then they just automatically start backing out. Now these guys will have 2 hooks, so it hooks onto there. This is where your strap will just store. So once you hook it back onto this hook right here, the strap will just lay there. I mean, it doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't, if it doesn't bother you, that's where I would store it, just so I make sure that I won't lose it. Now in our stalls back here, this very last one, we do have a what we call a subdivider. So this one here will extend so it reaches your latch, and then whenever you're trying to, let's say, close your trailer, you don't need use of this last one. As you can tell, this guy goes past your door. So this is where we would lift this guy right here, and then you would push your divider in, and then once it's fully in, this guy right here will have a pin. So with your pin itself, you go ahead and you pin this divider to the wall, and then that makes for, you know, your divider to be fully pinned. You can have your horse sitting in this stall, and you know, you don't have to make use of that fourth slot right there. As we see, these guys are fully padded, so you have a fully padded divider for both ends, and every single one of these dividers will be fully padded as well. Now we'll go ahead and get to the very front divider. So we do have a stud wall divider for this very front portion of it. So this trailer in particular will have an escape door for the very front part of your trailer itself. So a lot of people tend to use it like as a mud room, those kind of things. So this guy already has your stud wall, so you don't have to worry about, you know, the bottom end. And then you do get a lot more space back over there to, you know, be able to store buckets or those kind of things if you ever were needing to. As I mentioned, fully padded divider, this wall will also be padded for this back end itself. So you guys do have that pad on here. You don't have to worry about your horse knocking into this end. And then, as mentioned, we do have our Vortex lining. So you guys see the Vortex line. This will work also as your kick mats. So if your horses tend to paw, they tend to kick, they tend to do those kind of things, this guy will protect your trailer for sure. We also are seeing our bus windows, and then located on top of our bus windows is these LED lights for every single one on our hip end, so you do have clearance to be able to see your horses into the back end whenever you guys are working off of the interior of your trailer itself. Now let's work off of the front end of our trailers. This guy in particular, since it is an escape door, we do have a chest strap. So this guy will have your chest strap. If you happen to open this door for your, you know, trying to put something in for your horse, trying to see your horse, whichever thing that you're doing, your horse is here, this strap will hold him, so you don't have to worry about him wanting to jump out down that way. And then we do see that the latch, so this is how, you know, you would get your door opened. Your latch is located right here on your door, so you are able to open it, but then you also have this almost like a guard on here, so your horse can't mess with it, with his mouth, with his chest, with any of those kind of things. So you're, you know, peace of mind that your horse is not going to be messing around with it to be able to himself open his door and then, you know, jump on out, any of that kind of thing. And then for our stalls, right on top of each one of our windows, we do have our tie hooks. So that's where we would tie our horses from. And then again, for the people that like to do feedbacks, those kind of things, this trailer already comes with 3 D-rings. So you got one right here, one right in front, and then you have this guy on this end. So you have those D-rings for you to be able to set that feedback right here for your horse. And then we'll also take a look at our roof. So our roof has our roof vents already on here. So they're the 2-way roof vents. If you guys need to drag air in, pull air out, these guys will go whichever way you guys are needing them to go. And then just again, standard on them, as we saw in the front stall, you know, your tie hooks will be located in the top, and then each one of your stalls will have your D-rings to be able to hook on to those feed bags itself. Now this trailer in particular, we did add another light right on top of here. So we see those 4 ones back over there on their hip. Our head end will only have one, and it's located right on top of the very last stall towards the back to your door. So you do have access to that light in here if you happen to be using the front end for anything other than your horse itself. Now I do want to shut these doors real fast and show you guys. We are looking at 50-50 doors. So these guys will be 50-50, and then you do have your butterfly latch. So the latch right here will have your lock, so you'll get keys with this trailer to be able to lock the stalls itself. So you do have that. And then as mentioned, each one of our doors will have our bus windows. So we do have bus windows on these guys. And then we are seeing 2 load lights. So you do have those 2 8-inch type awning lights on top of both doors. So if you happen to only open one, you still get that clearance for that guy right there. And then the way to work your lights for the inside stalls or these back load lights will just be right here. You guys flicker those guys on out, down for off, and then if you want to have them on, you just flicker them back on there. And then these guys, this trailer in particular, for their brakes, you do have that integrated backup light. So that's what this strip of white is. So it's your backup light to be able to, you know, get more clearance if you happen to be backing in anywhere at night, anything like that. You're able to do so that way for your trailer itself. Now, off of this trailer, we'll see our head end. We're also seeing a hay rack. So you guys have a hay rack. It's not integrated or anything like that. You just have, you know, your regular hay rack sitting on top of your trailer. This guy will be that 6 feet of a hay rack on there. And then we do see our ladder to be able to climb on into the roof of our trailer to have access to that hay rack itself. And then for our head end, you know, pretty standard as we normally see on these trailers. We do have drop windows on every single one, including the escape door. And then these guys do have those jail bars. Same system to pull these jail bars down. You pull the middle one, this one that looks a little odd, and then you just pull that guy down. This trailer in particular, for each one of our windows, will come with this mesh. You guys can remove it. It's fully hooked on with just the Velcro. So if you guys wanted to, you can take it down. I know a lot of people say their horses are gonna chew on it, they're gonna mess with it. They're fully removable, so you don't have to keep them onto your trailer. And then the way to get our window back on is we do the same exact thing. You pull it down and you push it in. When you pull this guy, you're pulling out the little hooks that are located on each end of the window itself. So by pulling it and then giving it a little push, the window will just go right back on and in there. And then you just slam your window as you would any window. Now, I personally really like the windows on the Logans because of the way you get to open this guy. So the windows, all of them will have this right here, this little bar, and you just pull it and the window will come right back down. So you pull that latch, the window will come down because it's pulling on the latch itself, which is really nice because that latch is located really high on those windows. So I like it because I'm, 5'2", I'm pretty short, but I'm still able to get this window open without having to go, do anything else other than pulling the latch on there. And then these windows have a socket. So this guy, if you wanted to run, anywhere, if you're going on a trail ride, anything like that, you want to have your drop down windows down. If you pull your window down and you push it into the socket, this guy is not going to be going anywhere. So you have access to fully, ride down the road with your windows fully down as much as possible. Now, I mentioned this front one is the one that's located in our escape door. So this guy will be a smaller window, but you still get to do the same exact thing. It's still going to be your drop down. So this guy, you pull, still comes with the mesh. So you still have the mesh on here. You're still able to do everything, still has the bus window. You can still ride with it down, but this is how you would operate your escape door. So it has that double latch. So you get, your standard latch on here, and then you have your butterfly latch. So you have that peace of mind that your horse is protected two ways. Now this guy will also lock, so the key will also lock this one, and it'll also lock this guy up front. And then just like any door, you just go ahead and open it. As I mentioned in the front, you have the chest strap. So if your horse is located right here and it's wanting to come at you, this chest strap will hold him, inside of the trailer itself. And then we just do the same exact thing. You shut it, and then you secure it with your butterfly latch on there as well. Now, I'll take you guys to this very front end of our trailer. So, we see our door, pretty regular, standard, has a bus window on there. This is the dressing room part of your trailer itself. So this guy on here, we have, our flooring is going to be fully carpeted. So you have fully carpeted flooring. And then going up, we see all our Vortex lighting, so that's all the black throughout the entire trailer itself. And then right here, so just off to your right, whenever you enter, you do have a shelf. So if you're wanting to put anything up here, you know, store anything, whatever you guys can think of, you do have the shelf to be able to do that. And then right below your shelf, you do have a rod. So this is what we would call our clothes rod. So if you guys are taking this on a trail ride, if you're using this trailer to show any of those type of scenarios and you need a hang, whether it's your shirts, your jeans, your, you know, coats, whatever you're trying to hang, this guy, you do have the bar. You're able to do that with this trailer in particular itself. Now up into here, we do have an additional set of bridle hooks. So you have more bridle hooks located into the dressing room part of your trailer. Again, fully carpeted. This guy will also be fully carpeted down here, so you got all the carpet throughout the trailer itself. And then as we're turning our heads down to the nose area of our trailer, we do have a boot box in this guy. So this one will have a full boot box on here, and then you can also use this as a step to go into the front. So this guy will be fully carpeted. We're seeing fully carpet all throughout the nose as well. You have a light located at the very front end of the nose, and then we do have 2 bus windows. If you need to air this section of your trailer out, you do have access to those, and these are the bigger upgraded windows. You're also seeing another rod right there. So if you guys, you know, need to use that for additional things, that's where that's going to be located as well. And then you also get another set of light. So this guy will be right on top of our door. So as soon as you walk in, you do have a light on here. And then the way to operate both of your lights that are located in the dressing room will be right here. So, you know, both of your switches, you just turn. This one will be for the switches in here. And then the other one will be for that light that's sitting outside of this guy as well. So this would be your front end of your trailer. And then like any other door, you just go ahead and shut this guy, and then you do have access to lock it with the same set of keys. So if you're keeping anything that you want to have secure, you do have access to that on there as well. Now we'll make our way to the very front end of our trailer itself. This trailer is equipped with a hydraulic, so you got an electric over hydraulic lift jack on here, and then you have what we call our battery disconnect switch. That guy is sitting right on top of that box. So you have that battery disconnect switch whenever you're gonna go ahead and, you know, for whatever reason, use your trailer and you don't wanna hook up to your truck, turn that guy on. It'll give you power to be able to work your jack, also your lights in here. This aluminum box that's located right here. Oh, if I could get it open, oh, it's probably locked. Well, that guy is what stores our battery. So that's gonna be our battery box in there. So you have a 12-volt battery located right inside of this guy. So it's fully, as you guys saw, you can lock it. So you're able to lock this if you're ever fearing that your battery might get stolen, anything like that. You do have access with the same set of keys that I've been saying throughout the trailer itself. Now this trailer will have a full-size spare tire, so you get the same exact tire as whatever is sitting already on the trailer itself. So if you ever have a blowout, anything like that, you do have access to that spare tire. It's located right underneath over here. And then the way to work your jack, you'll have your system. You have a separate set of keys for this guy. So you have a separate set of keys, and then you literally just do trailer down, trailer up. And then that's how you would work your jack itself, lifting it, lowering it, all that kind of stuff. And then of course, standard on any of them, we do have that 7-plug pin. So you guys, you know, this is where you would go to connect to your pickup, anything like that. And then on this end located, there is a hook. So I know a lot of us tend to unplug it and just throw the hook and our 7-plug on the ground, whichever way. This guy has a hook on here, so you're able to use this as, you know, the storage for that 7-plug itself. Now going up to the front end over here, we are seeing our coupler. So it's a fully adjustable coupler. If you need to, you know, lift it, lower it, whatever the case may be, you know, standard on these guys, the same as we've seen throughout our Logans. And then we also have our 2 safety chains. Please, whenever you're moving your trailer, make sure you use your safety chains. We never know what could happen, and these guys do weigh quite a few pounds, especially with horses on here. So please make sure you use your safety chains. And then we also have our breakaway switch. So you do have that guy on this trailer as well. And then, you know, standard on these guys, you do have that front end. You got your logo. The color will be exactly the same as we've been seeing. So that gray on that we saw all throughout the trailer, and then that Vortex line I've been speaking to you guys about. So Logan is very big on their Vortex lining, since this is a steel trailer, and you guys know some steel trailers will rust. I mean, we can guarantee your Logan is not gonna rust on you. So this is why the Vortex lining will be all throughout, even the front end. I mean, the whole drop wall, all this guy has that Vortex lining on itself. Now, as I mentioned, you guys, this is a 2026 Logan Riot 4-horse gooseneck. Our stock ID is going to be 5N250923. This is brand new inventory. It is still available. So if you guys have any further questions on this trailer, please, please, please reach out to me. You guys are seeing my email address right here. You're also seeing my cell phone number and then my office number. So if you guys have any further questions on this guy or any of the other trailers in our inventory, please make sure that you guys call me or shoot me an email. También hablo español para los que ocupen ayuda con español, ya sea en esta traila, cualquier traila que tengamos aquí disponibles. Por favor, márquenme. Este viene siendo mi número de celular. Este de aquí es mi número de la oficina. Y luego están viendo mi correo electrónico. Así que si ustedes tienen ya sea una pregunta en esta o cualquier otra, por favor, márquenme. And we'll see you guys again next week. Thank you.